Hey everyone, welcome back to Big Blue, another build on Aluna Island right across from Magnolia Corner. Just wanted to remind you that there are two other videos. The first one has the build itself, the floor plan and all the windows, all of that exterior kind of stuff. And then the second video has the first floor, which is all the living spaces. But we're starting the other two floors in this video with the master suite. So this one I started, a year ago when I was originally building this. I got super stuck and I left. I just left it behind. And then when I came back recently, I had just downloaded a bunch of new custom content, which makes everything new and shiny again, and I had a bunch more inspiration. So what you're seeing right now is back from a year ago. I think I put in a bed and a couch and a bookshelf and that kind of basic stuff, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to do, I'm leaving it. So some things changed a little bit between the year ago start that you'll see and the new stuff that I did just now, where I start to get a better idea of who's living here and what they're like and the whole blue thing that's going on. So things get more blue, even though we're starting off pretty blue here. And this room also has the indigo kind of blue that we saw in the outdoor furniture, just because it would make more sense to have it more integrated throughout the whole house. So this room will have that indigo blue, and it's going to have some pink, soft pink, to balance it out, because the blue is very deep and dark, so we needed something soft and warm and light. And then there's going to be a couple pops of like what kind of green is that? I don't know. It's like a really pretty green, what would you call it? It's like a little minty but a little foresty. It's a blue-based green. It's deeper, so I don't know. I need to study colors for serious, man. Anyway, now I think we're in the present, and I'm trying to make this sofa work better, trying to make this room work better. So I have a vanity over in this corner of the bedroom for one of the parents to use. But I think I know that the sofa and the bookcase get moved out onto their landing on the outside. Just because it didn't really make sense to have a sitting room there, since the sitting room would usually be between the entrance to the bedroom and the actual bedroom, and this is to the side. It makes more sense that way, so we have the sitting room before the entrance to the bedroom instead, because it doesn't make sense to go through someone's bedroom to get to their sitting area. It makes a little bit of sense to go through their bedroom to get to their personal office, since they'd be the only one working there, so that's what I end up doing. That corner where there's pink ends up being the fashion designer's office area, their work area. So the sofa and the bookcase will be moved out soon. And this bathroom looks a lot like Magnolia Corner's bathroom, because these were built around the same time. They're the cookie cutter, everything's similar, related, but this is the high budget one, like I said, the costly option, because there's 3 floors and everything is a little more opulent, a little more extravagant, I guess. So it's the same tub, the same shower, same kind of configuration, but they get 2 sinks in their sink area, and it's a little bit more spacious because the way that their sink area is laid out, it's not a long space, it's a wider space. So there's that. Let's see, and this, I think, so when I come back to this area, I'm like, nah, it doesn't work as a sitting area, so we're gonna take this stuff out. And I couldn't get that dresser. I know I wanted a little dresser there, because if they're a fashion designer person, they're going to have a lot of clothes. And I just already had in my mind that this person had a lot of clothes. So I tried to move it around, it didn't quite work. Now we're in this sitting area out here. This fireplace is custom content. I don't know if it actually functions as a fireplace. I'm pretty sure it's just decoration. But it still looks very nice. And it had a nice flat profile. It didn't take much of the room. So I used it out here in this little landing and make their little sitting room out here, and inspired by that rug, which was inspired by that chair, but that chair changes, to put some emeralds and teals in this space to keep the blues, of course, but then another color comes in later. You'll see that. I keep referring to later, but that's because I keep thinking about, I already know this is coming, but you guys don't know it yet. You'll have to watch and see. where do I go now? Oh, now we're going to the office. So we have the drafting table because that's what Sims used for the fashion design career. And I put this clothing rack in at first. It changes though for something a little bit more designy looking. This looks very utilitarian? Yeah. And then a chunk here that would probably have like extra fabric that's not assembled into clothing yet. You know, all the prints to look at and all that stuff. Putting things up with little decorations and plants. Oh, and that pillow changes because that pillow was just a little too dainty. Yes, I liked the green because it matched the green of that bedside table, but it was too dainty for all that pink. It made things too twee, so it had to change. But that happens later when I find a better alternative. Oh my gosh, finding art for the space was impossible. I cut out so much footage in this part trying to make things not take forever because I go through all these things. I wanted something big, but I didn't want to go from window to window like this painting does, so this one instead goes out here because the greens go out with the emeralds. But I just keep searching and searching, trying to find something that fits the mood of this room that is very deep but also light, and because this delicate balance, it was tricky to find something. And I was thinking maybe a gallery wall would work because these pieces are all smaller, and so I spend forever getting these colors all the same, trying to figure them out, how they work. But because you can't move things diagonally along the walls like in Sims 4, it didn't fit together quite right. So I just end up separating them out across the room and leaving one okay-sized one over the bed. It's not ideal, but it works. Here we're getting the nicer clothing rack. Though I think only those shirts were made to hang on it, and maybe even not those. Maybe they're made for something else. So it's a little blank, but it looks neater, so I prefer it over the utilitarian one. New blankets custom content. We'll come back to the blankets though. Was this where we find it? Yeah, this is where we get a pillow that ends up going on that chair, bring some of the blue over, balances things a little bit more nicely. And we gotta clutter up this area, of course, because this person would be spending a lot of their time up here imagining, designing, creating. And there's a coffee cup there by the bed with their fashion magazines. When they need a break from designing, they go have their drink on the bed or in their chair and look at their magazines for more inspiration, see what trends are up and coming, see what they're planning on. Maybe they help out in one of the magazines and they're reviewing stuff for the magazine. Who knows? You can decide. I also cut out a lot of blanket finding because I had a lot of new blankets to go through, and we end up going for an indigo blanket with pink underneath, so the pink peeks out but blue stays dominant on that side of the room. And now we're down to the second floor. Yay, second floor! This is the one with all the kids' bedrooms and their playrooms, and this is their bathroom, obviously. And this bathroom is going to be white and kind of like a warm olive green, like that green, because that sink, I was complaining about it last time, how it had that floral print stuck in it, but then I found an alternative that took out the floral print, so you just have that nice round shape with a cool gold faucet and no floral patterns. So I stick with that green and put it all over this room, on the towels, on the shower curtain, on the walls, and I like it. It's kind of a cramped bathroom for 3 kids. But as long as they're not all in there at once, I think it'll be fine. I had to share a bathroom relatively that size with my 2 sisters, and it worked out okay. And now we're starting the first of the bedrooms, the one that I just put the closets in. We're gonna get back to that in a second. This bedroom is for a kid, or child, so not a toddler, not a teen. And they have probably just aged out from a toddler recently because they have this expandable toddler bed. They have very juvenile blankets, these little sheep here that are so cute. And they stick with a gold and green theme for their colors in their room. I'm trying to add lots of storage into this little tiny bedroom because kids have lots of stuff, but still making it feel open. And this kid, I'm thinking, is very artistically inclined, so they have these art things on their wall. But they also, how do I say this? They like toys, they like things. They're maybe a materialistic kid, because there's going to be 2 baskets full of toys at the foot of their bed. So they have a very stuffed full room, but it is also a very small room. But I'm imagining these kids don't spend too much time alone in their rooms, because they've got this humongous house that they share with the family, and so they're all over the house all the time. And hopefully these kids go to the park because they don't have a big yard. Though they could play on the driveway. The driveway is pretty big. The driveway is like 2 times as big as their backyard. So maybe there's that. So you're kind of seeing the bedroom come together. I think the rug is the last thing I do in here. It's got the gold and the green and everything works together pretty nicely. And then we're heading over to this bedroom right next to it, which is going to be a baby or toddler room. I mean, it could be a baby that's about to age up into a toddler, it could be just a toddler, because it's got diaper changing station there, which I don't think is actually functional, and it's also got the training toilet thing there. Some toys on the floor, and I'm getting out toys to be ready to make the playroom. And this bedroom has a very interesting color scheme. I don't know where I got this color scheme from, but it's like a kind of deep red with a lilac and a periwinkle. So I don't know. Probably a girl's room because there's lilac and periwinkle, but the red really toughens it up a bit, gives it some more strength. And I wanted it to just be that one purple, but the bed and the walls end up being more lilac, and the training toilet and the toy box end up being more periwinkle. So that's just how it ends up being. Plus the rug there is like gray, but it's still more lilac than periwinkle. It doesn't have that much blue in it. But it surprisingly worked really well with this color scheme, so that's why I stuck with that color scheme. This is going to be the teenager room. It's across the hall, across the floor from the other 2 bedrooms, so it has some space, like a teenager always wants space. It's black because, again, we're going with a moody teenager. I'm figuring this family recently moved into this house, and so this teenager is mourning their childhood, mourning moving away from everything they've known, so everything is in black and they're moody. But they're also not necessarily, like, depressed. They're just figuring out their independence. I'm getting way too, like, therapist-y into this, but oh well. So there's things in here that are more reflective of, like, her, because I'm guessing it's a girl, because things are rather elegant. Things that are representative of her nostalgia of her childhood and stuff. Like there's going to be a little elephant on the shelves and a little puffin. But then things that are also her branching off into trying to be more grown up, more adulty. I totally lost my train of thought. Wow. Okay, sorry. So that's the bed. It's a little day bed. It has storage underneath to make use of more of the space. And then on the wall there's 2 prints. There's one that's 2 dogs and one that's wolves, so maybe she likes dogs. Or maybe it's a topic about how we can take things wild and domesticate them and change them entirely, you know, make statements. And then these posters over here with wolves again, but also just dark, nature-y things. And these shelves get filled up with books, and then instead of a bedside table, we put another shelf here and fill it up with lamp, an alarm clock, because teenagers really need alarm clocks, and like her different writings and notebooks and pictures, things that teenagers do. They express themselves in so many different ways. So all of her outlets for expressing herself. And I'm just getting these books here on the floor, and we'll move them over to that shelf by the door to her room in a second. Because in that corner goes a vanity, because, well, it also doubles as a desk. So it could be a vanity, it could be a desk. It could be both. Because this room is small enough, you need things to be multitasking. So there's the little elephant, little yellow elephant on that shelf, right near the top, and then the puffins go on the top shelf next to the lamp. So they speak kind of to her former life as a child. Here's the vanity that's going to double as a desk. So we're gonna clutter it up with some self-care kind of lotions and stuff, and a candle to make things moodier. And that stool just looked too harsh, so we go with this poof instead, and it adds some roundness to this room that has a lot of angles in it that really needed some roundness. And in this room there's just lamps all over instead of like an overhead light to add like a more subdued, subtle lighting throughout the room. And here we have this really cool old mirror. But we're going to come back to that room for little details later, but now we're doing the playroom, family room thing. So this is where the TV is going to be, where the family gathers around the TV. And this ends up being another blue room since it's a family space. All the other rooms so far have not been blue because they've been the kids' rooms and the kids get to choose their colors. But the family room playroom here gets to be blue again, but it's a teal green based blue because it's going to be inspired by a rug. It should be coming up shortly, yeah, because we're getting the sofa here, and after the sofa we get some other tables around and some lights, and then we'll get in some rugs. So, oh, and those little fairy lights, they're supposed to go with another daybed, but for some reason the daybed is not showing up, even though I downloaded it as custom content. It doesn't show up for some reason, but I still have those lights. So I figured those lights were probably pinned to the wall or the window frames behind that bed to make it work there. Because I wanted her to have fairy lights, because that's very teenagery. And this is the rug that we chose. It has that teal color, an emeraldy kind of color, and some pink. So it follows other colors throughout the house and kind of makes things more unified. And this room is also going to have those colors throughout. So the sofa is kind of more on the emerald side, the walls will be more teal, and then there will be little pops of pink in some of the art. And then getting curtains throughout the place. So there's the blinds in the TV room and dark blinds in the teenagers' room to get more light out, and then some curtains everywhere else. And here I had to change the curtains up a bit so that they would work on those diagonal windows. Ugh, diagonals. Pain in the butt. Not as much as roofing, but still. And here we're changing that chair to an orange color to balance out the orange that's in that painting to make it more, instead of being so lopsided, more balanced. So orange on one side, orange on the other. And here we needed some more stuff, I thought, for the office to make it look more office-y. So that would be where she keeps her office tools, and there's a garbage can there to throw away her scraps, the rejected drawings. And here we needed a throw blanket and some pillows to make it look like a couch that a family would actually use. Trying to keep the colors inspired off of the rug to keep things more cohesive and unified, as always. And here we have another one of those statues. I think that's the third one in this house because, like I said, I built it some a year ago and some now, and I didn't realize that I was using these things over and over. And those were some boxes to go under as storage so they could get them out if they needed to. But maybe that statue thing that keeps getting repeated are actually like awards that one of the parents got, and instead of having them all compiled in one place and being very repetitive, he spread them throughout the house to be represented and admired throughout the house. And here's the bookshelf. I don't know if any of those books actually work as a bookshelf, but that one that I just put on the glass console table, that works as a bookshelf for sure. And then here, I tried to go with an easel, but it didn't fit quite right, so we're going to just do some plants in there, bring some plant life into this house, because there hasn't been much of that so far. So here we have just a little cluster of plants. And then the walls are going to change pretty shortly to be teal color, like a deep dark teal. That makes it warm and cozy in here, because I think a black TV in front of a white wall, at least in this room, it wasn't quite working for me. And then we're going to do a gallery wall behind the TV too. And it's going to be kind of global themed. There's going to be lots of maps, and the maps have little pops of pink in them too, to help bring the pink out from the pillows and the rug. And you can't really see these paintings very well right now because of the brightness being turned up. I'm sorry, but the next couple videos I think we'll have that issue resolved, because I figured out how to record now to make it not be so dark in the recording and have to be yanked up in the brightness and editing. So here's another play space with the more just child stuff, so it's not really for parents as much. So we've got a little IKEA cooking set, and that trunk would be like seasonal toys or toys that they can rotate out. And then the artistic stuff, of course, is right outside of that artistic kids' bedroom, so they can just go out there, color or paint or whatever. And then here I wanted the wall to be half black, so you could imagine it was like chalkboard paint wall. I think it ends up being full black, and you'll see why. But it adds some nice weight to that part too, and brings your focus down from those stairs, because the stairs help it climb up. And here we're saying no, focus down here on the kids stuff. And the little chalkboard there I thought was extra cute because it has a grocery list right next to that play kitchen, so it's like they're playing family. Here's your grocery list, dear, bring these things back to the kitchen for me. And then this mirror is to bring more light into the space, but also it has a functional use as well. If someone's coming down the stairs, they can see if someone is going to come and bump into them too, because it's kind of an awkward corner there. And then this was looking too light and airy. I wanted it to be cozier and more pulled together, so we painted that area, that landing, black, and the black goes down, carried down to the chalkboard wall area. And then a little light cluster over the landing, and then this light cluster in the corner by the painting I thought looked nice. And I'm just playing with new custom content lights that I got, some cool old-timey ones in there. And so this cluster is all different sorts of lights too, different shapes and different heights, and I thought it looked really neat. And we're gonna have a plant there too that kind of curves up and around the girl in the painting. I thought that looked neat. And down in the kids area we have the fairy lights again to make it look more juvenile and playful. And now the last thing what we do is this patio, veranda for the parents outside of their master bedroom. So it's going to have these lounges and a bunch of plants to make things very vibrant and lively, and some lemonade, of course. I don't drink lemonade personally, I'm not a citrus person, but lots of people like it, and it goes with the yellow of these plants, so let's bring that yellow all around. And adding more plants now to the inside because it was lacking in plants around there. And now we're at the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.